MyPillow magnate Mike Lindell's latest election conspiracy theory is his most bizarre yet. But she finds herself unable to convince those constituents of the simple fact that the election wasn't stolen. They are like, "Well, Mike Lindell says this," Jensen said. "It made me angry," she said. "He has created a lot of doubt in a lot of people's minds, even though the count was accurate." Trump won the county with a margin of more than 5,000 votes. Now, Lindell is resorting to a last-ditch attempt to promote his theory, planning a cyber symposium this month in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where he says he will release 37 terabytes of data showing election hacking. "I'm not wrong. I've checked it out. I've spent millions," he claimed. "You need to trust me and come there." The county conducted a hand recount of every ballot, paid for by Trump's campaign, which verified Biden's win. And every ballot in the state has a paper trail. "It's damaging to our democracy," McDonnell said of Lindell's claims. Spurious allegations spread on the internet because they affirm what you want to believe. From pillows to conspiracies. Since Trump's loss last fall, Lindell has been a super spreader of election misinformation. A Minnesotan who often talks about his journey from recovered crack cocaine addict to CEO, Lindell made a name for himself with cheery infomercials showing him hugging his trademark pillow. He fell into Trump's orbit during the 2016 election, attending his election night watch party and later showing up at White House events. His latest and most operatic theory involves a sweeping conspiracy in which hackers from China and other foreign countries broke into elections office computer systems around the country to reduce the number of votes for Trump. The claim is supported, he says, by heroes who supposedly captured data proving the hacking and then leaked it to Lindell in January. In the video, one of Lindell's anonymous experts says that the data he was showing was raw, encrypted data proving election hacking.
But Lindell later claimed that the data was simply B-roll, a placeholder for the actual evidence. "These are not PCAP files," said Harry Hursty, a computer programmer who organizes voting machine hacking tests and has assisted with election audits. Lindell has shown no evidence that he has PCAP files, and he has shown no evidence that these files have anything to do with elections, he said. J. Alex Halderman, a professor of computer science and engineering at the University of Michigan and expert in voting machines, called Lindell's antics completely ridiculous. Lindell claims that he will release his full data set showing election hacking at his so-called symposium. "Nobody has seen what I have," he said. "No judge, nobody, until I sent you guys a piece of it." "The ballots are ink on dead trees," said Dan Wallach, a Rice University computer science professor who has researched electronic voting system security. "Nothing that happens in China can change the ink on those dead trees. The election that never ends." Take Adams County, Pennsylvania, the home of the Gettysburg battlefield. Trump won the county with 37,567 votes, compared to 18,254 for Biden. Data included by Lindell in one of his videos and in court documents allege that 33,111 votes had been stolen from Trump after a hack on November 4 or November 5. Molly Mudd, the county solicitor, said that nearly all of the county's ballots had been counted and reported by election night, November 3, before Lindell alleges the hack took place. And if Lindell's claim about that many votes being swapped were correct, Mudd said in an email, then it would mean that Biden actually won Adams County by an unprecedented landslide, which is probably not the outcome that Mr. Lindell and his associates are fishing for. Some officials said they were seeing the impact of election conspiracy theories spread by Lindell and others among their communities and neighbors. "It's the election that never ends," Kelly said. And across the state in Oakland County, a Detroit suburb, election officials say they get regular phone calls from people claiming their votes were stolen, even after a canvass and 2 audits of the paper ballots verified the results.
"It's very convenient to say after the fact, 'Oh, you know, it was hacked,'" said Lisa Brown, the county clerk. "This is a guy who sells pillows. I don't know why anybody would want to listen to him as an expert on anything related to elections." Vote flipping theory has questionable origins. A nearly identical graphic previously appeared on a website connected to Dennis Montgomery, a former intelligence contractor who has been the subject of multiple exposes detailing exaggerated claims and alleged cons involving junk data. Starting in 2013, Montgomery convinced former Maricopa County, Arizona, Sheriff Joe Arpaio to pay him more than $100,000 for data that supposedly showed an illegal conspiracy involving a federal judge. A detective for the sheriff's office wrote in a 2014 email that the data contained no evidence to support Montgomery's claims. And Montgomery and his associates previously received more than $20 million in federal government contracts for terrorism-fighting software that appeared to have been a hoax, the New York Times reported in 2011. Lindell co-produced Absolute Proof with right-wing online broadcaster Brannon House and a blogger who goes by the name Mary Fanning, both of whom were early promoters of the supercomputer conspiracy theory. In the video, Fanning calls Lindell as he shows the map graphic, and talks through what she claims were attempted and successful cyber attacks. In multiple articles on her blog, The American Report, and discussions on House's show, Fanning has attributed her beliefs about vote flipping to Montgomery. Lindell said in Absolutely 9-0 that his unnamed sources gave him the data on January 9th. And House said during an episode of his show that he and Fanning called Lindell on January 9th and shared their theory with him that same day. We were talking, we're like, who can we get some of this information to that has the courage and the guts to talk about this, take on this cause, bring it to the president? House said on the podcast. I said there's only one guy in my Rolodex I know that has that kind of access, that kind of popularity and the guts to do it.
And that's Mike Lindell. In a January interview with House, Lindell said House and Fanning were the people who alerted him to the answers I was looking for about mass vote switching, election lies and pillow promos. Last week, Lindell said MyPillow planned to stop advertising on Fox News, where its pillow ads are a common sight, because the channel won't run a promo for his August event. Trump has continued his ties to Lindell, speaking via video at a Wisconsin rally headlined by the MyPillow CEO in June. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, said Wallach, the Rice University professor. This ain't that.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.